BTMreview.com here with the Behind the Mask podcast. It's been a little while since River and me and Zach here recorded a standard podcast. I think the last time was when we did that double dose of Eli Roth, when we talked about chocolate with sprinkles.
That was actually really fun. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a fun one. That was the last time I think or did we do the Stallone one? I'm not too sure. But it's been a while regardless. And, you know, it is funny, though. Speaking of that movie really quick, I can't even fucking think of what it's called. Chocolate with Sprinkles. What's it called?
Oh, it's Knock Knock.
I kind of want to watch it again.
It was entertaining, man.
It was entertaining. I mean, even though it was extremely predictable, the acting was hammy. There was something about it that was kind of it would have been nothing without Keanu.
I'd pay $7 for a Blu-ray for that.
Yeah.
$7 is the top.
That's about the top.
Yeah.
Speaking of Blu-rays, what new Blu-rays have you guys purchased since we talked last, or maybe recently, or maybe movies you've seen? We'll just kind of do a roundtable discussion on that before we get into the meat of our topic, which I'm excited about.
Well, you can start actually because
you're brain farting over there.
Pretty much. Well, I don't think I got a whole lot. So yeah, let me think. Go ahead.
Well, for me, I was just telling you guys off the record a minute ago. I saw the new X-Men Apocalypse movie. I saw that yesterday. I don't know. I know you guys aren't really followers of that stuff. I'm a big fan of the X-Men in general as a franchise. The movies are hit and miss. This movie was okay. I really loved the last one. I love Days of Future Past. So I think that's what probably hurt this one the most, just because it followed a really tough act. Who's fucking typing over there, Typing McGee? Jeez. You fucking gorilla pounding that laptop?
Don't worry about it.
Dude, that's what it sounds like. It's not like normal tapping. I don't know if it's the new computer, but it's like... That's what it fucking sounds like. Leave that in if you want. But anyway, as far as Blu-rays, I picked up a ton. I went to a pawn shop that I found near me that I really like, and I bought like a whole bunch. I couldn't even tell you like everything I bought. And you're probably going to hate me, Todd, but I actually bought the Evil Dead remake. Which you
can get that for like $2 now. It's fucking dirt cheap.
Yeah. I'd probably buy it for $2.
Well, see, that's what I bought it for. I bought it for $2 at a pawn shop.
Oh yeah.
And nice. So I'm like, all right, for $2, that's worth the special features and shit alone. Just to watch like Sam Raimi.
Is there any?
Oh, I hope so. I haven't watched it yet. I mean, I'm in no rush to watch it. Don't get me wrong.
I remember there's a backlash of people when the Blu-ray came out because they were like, "There's no deleted scenes on this."
Well.
Because that was a big selling point. They were like, "Oh, we had to cut so much stuff out to get an R rating. Wait till DVD."
Oh yeah, and I remember that too. Okay, that is a big back. I remember that backlash. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but even for a couple of bucks, I mean, that's worth even revisiting just for shits. Now, I don't feel like I've caved in because I'm not giving them the money. I bought it used. I bought it secondhand, so I'm not giving anybody money for that shit. I already gave them theater money, so that's enough. But I gave the pawn shop money. And then I bought, I don't know. I bought a slew of movies. I bought Ride Along just because it was $2 with the slipcover, and I didn't like it a bit. I'm like, this movie sucks.
I actually enjoyed that movie.
No, I bought it because it's like, I like Ice Cube enough. I don't like Kevin Hart that much. And then, like I said, it was $2 and had the slipcover and everything. It was the combo. I'm like, all right. And the movie sucked, but I don't feel bad because I spent
I'll take it.
It cost more to fucking ship it.
That's true.
But, what else? I bought a handful of things. The only thing I can remember out of this big stack of Blu-rays I bought, though, was, I bought that really shitty or very meh Michael Keaton movie, White Noise. You guys remember that?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't like it at the time. I watched it when it first came out, 2004?
Go, John, go.
I watched it 10 years when it came out, 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago. And I bought it for $2, and I got home, and it had the fucking DVD in there, not a Blu-ray. Like, son of a bitch. And once again, I got burned, but it's like, oh, well, I lost a couple bucks. But now I have
You got to see that static and crisp HD.
Yeah, and I tried. I went ahead and I didn't want to feel like it was a total loss, so I watched the DVD in bed. And I'm like, well, this sucks. I fell asleep. It was so boring.
I remember there was a sequel, like a straight to DVD sequel, though.
Yeah, White Noise 2. You could actually you can still find that one easier, I think, on shelves than you can the original. I think I've seen that. Now, I went to Best Buy this past week, and I bought some Blu-rays too. They were running a couple of sales. I bought Straight Outta Compton. They had that running on sale for like $9.99, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. For $9.99, it's definitely worth a buy. I liked it. Yeah, I think you should see that, River. It's really good. I think you'd like it. His son really embodies his dad really well, Ice Cube.
Yeah, he was good.
It's one of those things where if they're sitting next to each other, clearly you can tell them apart because, obviously O'Shea Jackson Jr. is a little lighter skin and stuff like that. But like in the movie, when he's got the Jerry curl and you don't have his dad next to him for like contrast, you really fucking forget it's not Ice Cube sometimes. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he nails it. And actually, I think the whole thing was cast really well. I think the guy who played Dre is really well. They all looked the part. The Eazy-E guy, they're all good. What else? And then I bought the original Poltergeist. They had the Digibook on sale for like, I don't know if it was $7.99 or $9.99, but it was pretty cheap and it was a really sweet Digibook. And, it's a really good looking Blu-ray. And, I like Poltergeist. I've actually never owned it before. And then I don't remember. I bought a few things, but one other highlight I bought was, I bought, the like 35th anniversary or whatever, of fucking Blade Runner. And that was a huge Digibook. So, and I've actually never been the biggest fan of Blade Runner. And I like Ridley Scott, and I know it's a cult class. It's one of those movies that I should like, and I've always wanted to like.
I'm not a huge fan either.
It's one of those things where I wanted to like it. And I saw it once, and I watched it when I was in China one time, and I'm like, wow, this isn't very good. I'm not a huge Harrison Ford fan either, but that shouldn't hurt it. But anyway, for like the price, they were charging like $7.99 for this awesome sweet package. And I'm like, you know what? I'll give it another go. But other than that, I bought Harry and the Hendersons for like $4. just to round it out. What's funny is I spent all this movie on Blu-rays and watched fucking the bare bones Harry and the Hendersons probably the best movie.
Didn't who's the guy that directed Witchboard and Night of the Demons?
I can't think.
Kevin Tenney. Didn't he make a sequel to Harry and the Hendersons not that long ago?
Wow,
That'd be awesome.
I have no
I think
idea.
he did. I think it was straight to DVD.
Who played John Lithgow's part?
I think it was a different family.
Well, then it's not the Hendersons.
I don't know. Then maybe it's one of their kids or something.
Oh, the fucking vacation treatment.
Yeah, like a new generation or whatever.
Oh my gosh. As far as theatrical movies, I mean, there's nothing out in theaters, man. I mean, the only thing, and I hate to say it, but the only movies that pull me out to the theaters, they're rare. I mean, it was fucking X-Men and it was Civil War a few weeks ago. Like, there's no, I do like the occasional big blockbuster. They're fun, right? But there's nothing below huge blockbuster that's in the theaters that I want to see. They're all, cause you think about it, when it's not like this huge fucking big comic book movie or whatever, what is it? It's a bunch of remakes. And that actually gets into our topic that we're going to talk about. And there's literally nothing. There's nothing else that I want to see that's going into theaters. But really quick, before we dig into that too much, which Civil War is awesome, by the way. You saw Green Room, right, Zach? What was that all about? I heard that's awesome. Director of Blue Ruin, right?
Yeah, have you guys watched that yet?
Green Room or Blue Ruin?
Blue Ruin.
No, I didn't see Blue
It's
Ruin.
on Netflix still, I think.
Is it really? Because I've been wanting to actually catch it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I'll have to see it. If it's on there, I'll
give it a watch. I've been meaning to check it out.
I like Green Room a lot. I'm excited for it to come out. I'm going to buy it.
I saw it on Amazon. Maybe it's just a pre-order.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's got a really limited release in theaters, so I don't know why.
What else have you watched?
I haven't bought the Blu-rays in a while. I'm going to
even on Netflix though. I've watched some stuff on Netflix, some random stuff.
Yeah, I'll be getting tax money soon, so I definitely want to get like a couple Scream Factory ones, like the 1984 that they did, class of 1984 and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Speaking of Scream Factory, River, you told me about Amazon was having a sale. I think it was last week, and then I kind of put it out of my mind, and I just remembered it today before we started this podcast, and I think I missed the sale. I'm like, wow, these are fucking expensive shit.
Yeah, I looked one day; they're like $12.99 or something. Like
there's a couple
slew of titles, man.
Okay, a slew of titles because they were all over the place. I mean, like there was a couple that were like 13 and 15. Either I already had them or they weren't very good. I think Funhouse was $12 or $13. I already own it. If you don't own it, get that because that's a great price for that. But
I have the DVD of that.
But they were standard 18, 20, 25, $30.
Yeah.
When was that?
Life Force, they were charging fucking
2 weeks ago.
Life Force on Amazon is going for like $75, $80 for some reason.
Holy
they must have had a low print of that. But it's because
you know what?
It's the Amazon official store too. It's Prime.
The artwork might have been discontinued because they found out the guy that made that artwork like plagiarized it or something.
Oh. Yeah, I don't care about that, man. That's I'm not going to pay that much for that crap, but yeah, but no, I'm in a big horror mood. Like I go through phases, and I've been in a movie mood for a long time, actually, and it's just been a situation of me not having anything to watch, man. I try and find stuff to watch, and I think the last horror movie that came out that was new, and I don't think we talked about it on a podcast, so I think it's fair game to bring it up real quick, was that movie, Todd, you told me, you said, watch We Are Still Here. And it was, it kind of looks.
Just got added to Netflix. I'm going to watch it.
Did it really? Watch it and let me know what you think. Because, River, you said you thought it was really good or pretty good. And then, it looked from the cover, it looked cool. When you read the synopsis on the back, it sounded cool. And it looked like one of those.
It's good for a low budget movie.
It looked like a throwback, a good old haunted house story. But then I watched it. I'm like, wow, it's fucking awful. It is so bad. Like, I don't, and me and you, Todd, we had a talk about this afterwards, so I know it's kind of retreading here, but I talked to you and I'm like, man, it brought up this whole big topic we should have had a podcast on about we as an audience have just lowered our standards because we're in that much of a deprivation for good movies and unique directors. Like, is this what the standards are? Because yeah, it was getting great reviews. Rotten Tomatoes? Dude, it had like a fucking 95.
Yeah.
It was really high. And then you told me, hey, it was really good. And, I remember I called you and I looked at you and like, wow, man, your standards have fucking lowered. Cause I used to go to Todd and, you got me into a lot of these movies like Motel Hell and, whatever. So, you had a certain standard about you. And then when Todd tells me a certain movie's good, it's like, I look at him like I want to throw a glass of water in your face. Like, check yourself out, man. Like, what the
I haven't watched a horror film in.
Dude, it's like, my biggest grievance with the horror movies today is, and like I said, we're in a drought here. I mean, even the indie scene,
right? There's nothing on the indie scene either.
The Hollywood scene has been shit for about 15 years, and especially horror. Gosh, it's been like 15 years horror. And then, so for like 5 years there, the place to go for maybe more than that was independent. And now you can't even, now it's like we're in a situation where all Hollywood does is want to remake. So, and even the indie scene, now all it is a bunch of amateur filmmakers. Everybody wants to be a fucking filmmaker. It's easy. Everybody has the means for the equipment. It's so cheap to produce a movie these days. Everybody can train themselves how to edit. Everybody's got Final Cut Pro these days. It's going to be, in 5 years, knowing Final Cut Pro, like the back of your hand is the equivalent to Microsoft Office being a standard, right? It's just, it's what it is. So now we just got this big influx of filmmakers that are all over the place. You go on Netflix, man, there's just so many shitty movies. You go on Redbox, so many shitty movies, and they're not good. And so we got to weed through all this anyway, so you look at these movies that are getting all this praise and it's like, my God, I don't understand it. Because like back in the day, the movies that are classics, Dawn of the Dead, The Exorcist, these movies that were held at such a high regard when they came out, Alien, they were good not because of one thing. People were coming at me talking about, oh, It Follows, it's so good, it's great, best horror movie in years, if not ever. And then when I try and like rebuke that and give my take on it, they'll be like, well, the soundtrack's good. And the soundtrack is good to It Follows, right? But that's not enough. You take out that soundtrack and then you're left with just the soundtrack does a little bit to help fight off the blandness of that movie and the poor characters, right?
I didn't hate it as much as you did. I thought it was enjoyable.
The biggest thing that hurts me, I don't think it's like a horrible movie. I don't think it's horrible.
I enjoyed it for a rent.
Yeah, I don't think it's horrible, but like the praise it's getting. So like the biggest offender of movies today is characters. Development. Dude, the characters in modern movies are horrible. They're awful. You don't even have to have like a unique script. You don't even have to have like a really complex story. But if you have really good characters, that's key. Dude, the characters in It Follows, you can't tell me you remember any of them. Can you?
It's kind of like they try to make them relatable to everybody. And like
maybe
most
to
people
like
are
the
just
fucking
sitting on their
Xanax
phones.
And fucking kids,
Yeah, exactly.
The kids today. But like the thing is I literally found myself during It Follows for characters would pop up in new scenes, and I literally was asking who that character was, not remembering that they were actually in a scene before. That's how forgettable they were. And you didn't care about anyone. They weren't relatable at all. They were horrible. No, don't even get me started on all the plot holes in that fucking movie. Like, I can suspend disbelief in movies to a degree. That's fine. But the thing that bugged me about that movie is there was literally 3 scenes that should have never made it out of the editing room. Like, why is this scene in here? Like, it progress the story? Absolutely none. You could remove it and you would not be, none the wiser. But whatever. It's really the character thing. But yeah, people are holding up movies like The Babadook and It Follows. These movies are
The Babadook.
I've never seen that. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, watch it. Because like I said, maybe you'll be like that divider on us. But I did.
People definitely need to, like, when they see something that they like, they definitely need to stop overselling it on the internet. Because they always just like inflate it so much.
Well, and I didn't see The Witch either. I heard The Witch, now that's on video, a lot of people are kind of, I'm hearing a lot of the same things. Wow, it's not a horror movie. It's more like...
I saw The Witch in the theater. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for it, but I walked out just like, I felt like I just wasted time. I'd like to watch it again because I've heard so many people. It's almost like, you remember like how people hated Rob Zombie's last movie?
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, Todd loved it.
Yeah.
So weird. Yeah.
I felt like The Witch was what everybody kept trying to act like Rob Zombie's movie was.
And if that's the kind of movie it is, I have no interest in seeing it. I might I'm sure it'll be streaming soon. I might try and stream it. But speaking of Rob Zombie, really quick, I think his new movie, the screenshots I've seen and the clip, I think it looks better than the last movie. So
31 or whatever.
Yeah,
30. I heard it's hurt though. Everybody's saying it's like, isn't it found footage or something?
I don't know. Rob Zombie hates found footage. He talks nothing but shit about found footage. So I thought
it was handy. Yeah,
I would hope it's not, because what a fucking sellout to himself if it is. But okay, so I know it premiered at like South by Southwest. It's been hitting the festivals and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't.
I'll still watch.
Rob Zombie is really at first he was pretty hit and miss. Now with that last movie, he's got more bad movies than he does good movies. I enjoy his remake of Halloween. Right? I actually enjoy it. I don't like Halloween 2, and everybody loves Devil's Rejects. But whatever. What was The Babadook is interesting because, like It Follows, it has a couple of things going for it. It Follows, yeah, the soundtrack's cool. The soundtrack's cool. But you know what? And in The Babadook, I think the cinematography is really cool in The Babadook. I think it looks good. I think the camera works really good. And the mom is a good actor. Everybody else is a shit actor. But the mom's good. But other than that, the thing that bugs me about The Babadook, and I'll give it a little bit of it was trying to integrate the whole like fucking fantasy book where the wild things are type of shit in a horror movie. The attempt was there, but it was full of nothing. Everybody's talking about how groundbreaking and original it was. That movie is nothing but horror cliches. Dude, like every 2 seconds, it's nothing but a horror cliche. And I'm like, what's so original about this? Like even down to her answering the phone and it's the fucking Babadook on the phone. Oh wow, we've never heard the monster on the other end of the phone before. Dude, the whole movie's like that. And I'm like, and don't even get me started on, she's a widow. Oh, I bet the Babadook's going to use the form of the widow at the end to mess with her psychologically. He fucking did. It's just so cliche. The whole fucking movie.
I think the ending has like a double meaning. I don't want to say it since River hasn't watched it.
Of course it does. I won't. Yeah, I'm not spoiling it either. But the ending I have a problem with. It's just like the It Follows ending. It's this hip, almost really forced way of trying to be indie and artsy. Like it comes off so forced of being art house. We're gonna make this ambiguous ending. That people can take how they please. That's a fine line. I like endings like that. Like The Shining was kind of an ending like that, right? It's a fine line. It can be done right, but dude, at this day and age, everybody's trying to be art house, and I fucking hate art house. That too. I hate art house, dude. It Follows is art house. The Babadook, it's borderline, but those ambiguous endings are stupid to me, man. It's like it doesn't hurt to give somebody a little closure every now and again. The Babadook was extra confusing. Because it wasn't even like, hey, either this happened or this happened. It was literally like, I had to go on the internet. I had to fucking go on the internet and be like, I want to hear what other people are saying because I'm lost. Now, It Follows, that was a little bit more either or. So that they kind of hit that. I get it. Was the person behind him subtle, yada, yada, was whatever. But I still didn't like it. I don't know. But it's driving me crazy. But that'll get into our newest topic here, the remake thing. There's nothing going on in Hollywood, and what's there is remaking. Now, I would have thought this remaking fucking fad would have been over, because when did it really start hitting? Like at the turn of the 2000s, right? It was like,
yeah, man. Did you not want to know what I've been watching?
Oh god, I totally forgot, man. You had sidelined. Okay,
I haven't got to any either.
Oh shit. Well, I'm out. I'll just
Diarrhea of the mouth over there.
the big fat mouth over here. All right, so we did, Zach. We talked about the green room, and then that was it. What else?
I rewatched Death Sentence yesterday.
Oh, I bought that. I bought that at the fucking pawn shop.
I enjoyed that. Yeah,
I bought that for $2 at the pawn shop. Man, I fucking love that movie because that's.
I don't think that's been released on DVD here, has it?
It's on Blu-ray
or Blu-ray. Oh, it's on Blu-ray here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it was on Blu-ray either. I found it at a pawn shop on Blu-ray.
Okay, I need to get it then.
Yeah, it's like
Did you guys know that was actually the guy that wrote the book that Death Wish was inspired by?
Yep.
He wrote the sequel. It was Death Sentence.
Oh, wow, really? I didn't know that.
That was actually one of the movies I watched I want to talk about, too. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I definitely want to read the book, though. I mean,
no,
I wonder if it was actually the Paul Kersey character or if in the book, or if wonder how that if they might have changed the character for the movie.
And they refer to it in like Death Wish. I mean, special features. They don't have shit for special features, so I'd like to know more about it. But
yeah,
on Death Sentence,
yeah,
it's good. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's a good, turn your mind off a revenge movie. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's paint by numbers, but man, is it a lot of fun. The characters that are there are fun, and the violence. It's got something going for it. That's exactly what I was talking about before. Is these movies back in the day, man, they were classics because they didn't just had a good soundtrack. They fired on all cylinders, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're throwing around the term classic really loosely now, because of movies that are doing okay in one, maybe two areas. Alien, I always use Alien because it's my favorite.
I just rewatched that yesterday too.
It's my favorite movie, and I like using it as an example just because I think it's perfect. They fire off. The cinematography is gorgeous. The script is really well done. You love all the characters. You like every character is a little different, right? Like in It Follows, dude, they're all the same carbon pasted cell phone kid. They're just all the same. In Alien, they're all different. They all have different personalities. They look different. They act different. And it's each death scene, you feel it. It's really cool. And then, the direction's great. The soundscapes and the score is awesome. And even down to the tagline, in space, no one can hear you scream. It's iconic. Everything is perfect. Movie like The Exorcist. I mean, great script, great actors, great characters. They nailed the suspense. Same thing like Alien, which directors can't do these days. Directors cannot nail atmosphere and suspense to save their lives. Even like a movie like The Conjuring, which I like The Conjuring a lot, but that's me lowering my standards a little bit, right? I mean, I thought The Conjuring was really fun, but that's me lowering my standards because, James Wan, even he succumbed to the jump scares.
That was definitely one of the better movies of the.
It really
2000s.
is. It really is. But it's funny because if I were the detractors of it I don't feel like he needed the jump scares. He had atmosphere working for it. So why are we doing all that shit throughout?
Well, for the PG-13 crowd, because
exactly. And it's like, to me, it hurt it. And we're still kind of on the cusp of that generation of filmmakers where more is more and not less is more. And James Wan is guilty of that too. Cause like the first two-thirds of that movie were great. But if you remember in the third act, he started showing you the demons. Like she was like in the basement and you see that like fat woman, that fat like midwife or whatever in the basement. And you're like it's not even a flash. She's like staring at her for a solid 20 seconds. And that's long enough for the viewer to start to see the makeup on her face and take you out of the movie. I'm like, why? It's like, to me, those things ruined it. But I am looking forward to The Conjuring too, just because I am desperate. So I'll go see that and hopefully it's good. But whatever. Overall.
Plus it's got the mom from Bates Motel in it.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Well, no, she was in the first one, Todd. She plays. Yeah. She's the main investigator. Her and fucking what's his
her
name?
husband,
Patrick.
It's not Professor Lasky, is it?
No, that's the other. That's the other possession movie, the Lasky.
Oh, The Last Exorcism.
Last Exorcism, yeah.
Which I enjoyed that too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too for what it was.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Bates Motel?
I watched the first season. I really liked it, man. I need to.
Yeah, I just watched the third or the fourth one. They're only going to have one more, so the fifth season will be the last.
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty good.
I need to watch it. That sounds good. I don't see how you're going to take a series like that past 5 seasons. I wish more series would learn that. I mean, there's
Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Walking Dead. Dude, some series they're fine. Some series it doesn't hinder it. Don't beat a dead horse. I think 5 like seasons is perfect. I think it's enough time to wrap up a story, right? But no, if you didn't have any other throw-ins for your watches, Zach, Todd, what have you been watching?
Well, I have a few written down here. I recently got rid of cable, so I haven't been buying any Blu-rays or watching any movies on cable. So basically, I've been watching that like MeTV and all those other free channels on TV. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I watched I Come in Peace the other day with Dolph Lundgren, and I actually really liked that movie. It's cheesy as fuck, but I like it, man. Have you seen that, Aaron?
No, I've never seen it. Is that an older one or a new one?
Cheesy, futuristic, kind of. Yeah, it's definitely like late '80s or early '90s, and it's just really cheesy. Then I threw in Kindergarten Cop 2 the other night, and that was a pile of shit.
Oh,
I didn't do it.
That's on
I saw that's on.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's on Netflix.
Bill Bellamy, dude. He's
Bill
like,
Bellamy. That guy. Where's he been since 1998?
I know,
Bill
dude.
Bellamy.
I got through about a half an hour, and then I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not wasting my time anymore." So.
Looks
Bill Bellamy. Didn't Bill Bellamy play Cousin Skeeter on Nickelodeon?
No, I wasn't Cousin Skeeter.
Wasn't it?
No.
Bill Bellamy?
Oh, did he play the actual puppet?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
The voice of
he
him.
might have been. I don't fucking know. It's about what he was reduced to that time. That it looks awful. I didn't realize it was on Netflix.
I think they just put it on there. Yeah, I did that. I have been watching a few Blu-rays. I have that Death Wish box set I checked out. I rewatched all of them except the fourth one because I can't find the fucking fourth one. I don't know where the disc went. So
I watched the original. I watched Death Wish too a couple weeks ago.
I got a Blu-ray set that has 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's the one. And then I got the one is separate, so I picked that one up too. I was hoping I could find 5 on Blu-ray, but Bronson movies are hard to find on Blu-ray, man. I've been buying a shit ton of Bronson VHS for $1 at the local game shop. So I've been watching a lot of VHS lately in my garage. Just chilling in my garage.
I'm looking forward to the new Undisputed movie. Drop anytime. Boyka. Because I love Scott Adkins, and he's like, I mean, he's like the British equivalent to Van Damme these days. Not all of his movies are good. And he's got some. I bought one. I don't even remember what it's fucking called. I bought it on a whim because it was the new Scott Adkins movie they had at Best Buy. I bought it like a month ago, and I regret it. It was bad, but he's not. But he's awesome in the Ninja movies. He's awesome in the Undisputed movies, and I'm really, really looking forward to the Undisputed 4. I mean, a lot of people are, so I'm really stoked for that. Because I want some good action too. He's the only he's like one of the only people that's putting out good action. Yeah.
Oh, Todd, I also watched. I forgot. Have you watched the movie Island of Death?
No, I've been wanting to see that. That just came out on Blue. I think Arrow put that out.
Yeah, dude, that's
weird
like
scenes in there.
That's the like that movie has everything. Like if you love exploitation movies, that's one to get.
So did you like it or?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Did you get on Blu-ray or?
No, I found it to watch.
Oh, okay.
I might actually buy it if it's like a region free.
Yeah, because I think Arrow put it out region free pretty recently. So yeah, but I've been wanting to see that for years, man. That looks crazy.
I've never even heard of it. Pretty old.
Yeah, I think it was 70s.
Okay.
76.
Oh, okay.
The good old days, 1976. Unlike 2016. Let's get into the meat of our conversation. The reason why I wanted to have this podcast in particular, it was the announcement of, now it's a lot of misleading headlines out there. Of course, it's headline bait, clickbait. John Carpenter returns to the Halloween franchise, 40 years later almost. And when you dig in and you watch and you read these news bits, you watch the press conference, my ass, he's returned to the Halloween franchise. Basically, they're remaking it again. Because I mean, for the last few years, they've been. First it was Halloween 3. There was the In and Out Developmental Hell, the third, the one that was taking place after Rob Zombie 2's, Rob Zombie Part 2 one, with Scout Taylor Compton and all that. Then that one fell through a couple years ago. Then they announced they were going to do Halloween Returns. That was the most recent. Yeah, that was the most recent. Dude, that one got really far into development. They even released a soundtrack.
Really? Who was directing that one? Do you know?
Well, it's not happening anymore. I don't know who's directing it, but no, actually,
I wasn't like people that worked on like Paranormal Activity or
Really?
Not Paranormal. The one we were just talking about, The Conjuring.
Oh, The Conjuring.
To be honest with you,
James Wan.
No, it wasn't James Wan.
I think it was one of the other guys that also worked on Saw.
To be honest with you, the concept of Halloween Returns, I was somewhat down with. I thought it was okay. This is a fair try, because what they were doing was, they've already split up the continuity in the timeline already before, right? Obviously you have the timeline that's Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and then Halloween H2O and Halloween Resurrection. Those are all canon, which makes me sick because obviously the latter two are horrible. But then Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 and Halloween 6 are a different canon, right? They split. Now, this one was going to sort of go back and retcon things. This was a direct sequel to Halloween 2. But the idea of it was cool. Like, it starred the deputy in Halloween 2. Remember the one that was with Dr. Loomis kind of the whole time, going to the dentist, checking the dental records, Sam Hain written on the chalkboard. It was going to take place about him, and it was like the direct aftermath of part 2. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm like, you know what? That's kind of ballsy and ambitious, and I'll take it. But they scrapped that one. And like I said, they already released a soundtrack. Go on Spotify. It's on there. It's like, it's like crazy, man. They really just said, fuck it. So now they've announced that John Carpenter's back. And the thing that bums me the most is it is a remake. And they, at the end of this press conference, they literally said it as if it's a good thing. They're like, and rest assured, this movie will be called Halloween. Like, oh, yeah, that's great. Because they were selling it as a good thing because they were saying we're going back to the basics. We're going back to suspense.
A lot of people will probably agree because a lot of people that love the series didn't like the zombie.
No, they're going back to atmospheric, I guess. They want to do, they're trying to capture the love of the original, not a lot of violence, less is more. And, so I get it, but it's like, come on now. Are they really going to call it Halloween because they're trying to embody the original and reboot it? Or are they just trying to make some fucking money? They're trying to make some money. But anyway, they got Carpenter on. Don't get too excited. Of course, I bit into it and I clicked the links and stuff. No, they're bringing him on board. They're giving him an executive producer credit, and they're giving him a consultant credit. Okay, my ass.
He was literally like the executive producer on the Fog remake, and that was shit.
I mean, anybody can be given a producer credit, right? I mean, that's what
Eli Roth.
Eli Roth.
Shit movies.
And basically, it's a paid endorsement. It's all it is. It's a paid endorsement. It's no different than a ball player selling fucking Gatorade.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? The Fog remake was badass.
Oh, fuck you, Corey G. But no, and I hate it. And it doesn't bring any clout for me because why? John Carpenter's been very vocal in the press in recent years that he'll do anything for money. He has pretty much lost the fire because he's been burned by Hollywood. He's very vocal about being burned by Hollywood, not making the money he should have, people not seeing the movies that he felt should have been, marketed better. And he'll do anything for money. People asked him about the Dwayne Johnson remake of Big Trouble in Little China. And his response, this was really recent, right? This is like, not even a year ago, 8 months ago, almost a year ago. He literally said, somebody asked him in an interview, like, what's your opinion on them remaking? He's like, they're remaking a lot of your movies, right? They brought it up. Like, they're remaking Escape from New York. They've just announced Big Trouble in Little China. They're The Fog. He literally said, oh, they paid me, so I'm good. They literally said, I don't give a fuck. They're paying me. So it's like, when he said that, his credibility went up. He says, I don't give a shit anymore. At this point in my life, I just want to stay home and watch basketball. I don't want to direct movies anymore. Keep the paychecks coming. And he lost a little bit of credit. Well, I mean, whatever. I get it. He is who he is. He's a legend as far as the movies he's made, but whatever. He pretty much represented who he was right now in this day and age. And so for him, right after that, to be announced as a creative consultant. Oh, wow. No, he's not returning to the franchise. He's a paid endorsement. And it's stupid. It's all dumb shit to me. I don't know why can't he fucking just. He really doesn't care that. I mean, because he knows it's shit. I think if he was really passionate about it, he'd fucking at least write the fucker. This is his baby. He doesn't care.
At the point where you kind of just give up on Hollywood. I don't blame him.
But he doesn't care. I wish but I'm saying I can see through it. I don't know why anybody's excited about this. Yeah. It's just another.
Yeah, it's just. I think he just realizes it's a machine now, and they're going to do what they want to do, whether he's on board or not.
So he might as well take the paycheck. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he's a paid endorsement to give people hope and help provide a vehicle for their whole thing of, hey, we're going to reboot it and we're going to go back to the original. What better to sell this idea that we're going to go old school than to get John Carpenter's name on it? And it will say it. It'll say John Carpenter's Halloween. Fucking stroke my cock. But I'm not excited about it because who's directing it, Todd?
God, who was it? Let me look it up right now.
Somebody that you
Eli Roth.
Eli.
What was it called again? Halloween what?
It's just called Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Just type in Halloween remake or John Carpenter Halloween director.
Remake.
Yeah, it's like
remake 2016.
There you go. Yeah, that's sad that we now have to note it has to be Halloween 2006.
Dude, that's what I said years ago. That's what I said years ago whenever the freaking Hills Have Eyes 2 came out. I was like, dude, is a world with 2 Hills Have Eyes 2 a world we want to live in?
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. This reboot thing has been going on. I think 2002 or 2003 was like the year it really hit. You know, then we started like having movies like House of Wax pop up, and it was like, whoa, what is going on here? All these fucking. Then we had like Black Christmas. Man, they dug in. They remade Black Christmas. They weren't even scraping the bottom of the barrel yet. I can't believe they chose that one over a ton of movies they hadn't done.
They put a bunch of WB people in it.
Yeah, exactly. Of course they did. But dude, we're talking like 13, 14 years and this remake game is still going strong. Fuck. Since
Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Yep. Don't even get me started on that. Since the remakes have been done of remakes during this time frame, right?
Mm-hmm. We've the Cabin Fever remake. Did you guys watch that?
Cabin Fever's been remade in the last one. And then
dude, it's literally a shot for shot remake. But with the comedy elements taken out, so
no fucking party man.
Worse.
No little Joe Dirt.
Nope, no pancakes kid. I don't think so. I don't think he says it in there. I don't remember.
But you got to think about it. Like take a movie like Halloween, Rob Zombie's. That's a movie that came out smack dab in the hype of this reboot train, this trend, and they're already remaking that again. Like we have movies that are being remade again within this same time frame. Remakes of remakes. It's just it's getting absolutely ridiculous. Reboot my ass. I don't like that. To me, there's a current trend that's been going on the last year that I was actually kind of standing behind, and it's kind of me compromising. It's that whole reboot idea, which I actually consider to be, you can use that appropriately, the term reboot, when they're rebooting a franchise, but they're not ignoring the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. I was like, you know what? I'll take it, right? But yeah, I'm sorry. If you're making a movie called Halloween and you're retelling the story from the ground up, it's a remake. It's not a fucking reboot. It's a remake. So
they should tie up the whole Sam Hain thing and make Michael a Danzig fan. That's why he wrote that on there.
Yeah, I like Halloween 2 more than a lot of people. I was kind of excited to. I kind of like the idea of the Halloween Returns. It's too bad they're not capitalized. And it's funny when you think about it, but John Carpenter's been doing a lot of press since they announced this. And, you know, of course, you see it trending all over the place where he talks shit on Friday the 13th, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's actually trending on like Twitter and Facebook. But yeah, he was asked, okay, Friday the 13th, that's pretty much out there. It's not like a secret. Friday the 13th is a ripoff of Halloween. You know, they were like, oh my God, like Halloween was such a big hit and it was such a budget movie. It was made on a budget. And it made all this dough, so they wanted to get their piece of the pie too. So they created this slasher movie as well, budget, because the kids, you know, whatever to make money.
So it's kind of like back in school when kids were like, "Oh, Jason's better, nuh-uh. Freddy's better, nuh-uh."
But no, it was a direct. A couple years later, they popped that out, and it was a direct ripoff. I mean, they'll even admit that, but. You know, and John Carpenter said he acknowledged that. He's like, you know what, though? He's like, basically, I think the headline, his quote is, Friday the 13th never rises above its cheapness, whereas Halloween was made really cheaply. But, you know, it's a good movie. He said Friday the 13th is nothing but cheap, campy fanfare. And I get where he's coming from. It doesn't have the spirit of Halloween. It doesn't have the ambiguity. It doesn't have the undertones. Halloween's a borderline thinking man's movie. It really is.
You know what's funny, too? Is growing up, Halloween Michael Myers was always my least favorite.
Mine too.
I always liked Freddy and Jason
because
better.
You liked the action. You liked the campy kills. You liked, which, you know, Halloween 2, it's so funny because Halloween 2 ended up jumping on the bandwagon it started Because you'd almost think Halloween 2 was copying Friday the 13th. Because it was Halloween 2 when they started introducing the glamorous deaths, right?
Especially in like 4 when they're adding blood and stuff.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's really think about Halloween 2. Halloween came out, and then like in 1980, Friday the 13th came out 2 years later, and then Halloween 2 came out in 1981, following Friday the 13th, and the Michael Myers kills became more like Jason kills. He had the fucking comedy, like boiling their face in the hot tub. You know, that was like a Jason kill. He had the fucking needle in the head, the syringe. He had the scalpel. They were more creative kills, just like in Friday the 13th. Whereas in the first Halloween, like I said, he literally just stabbed, you know. So they were like almost keeping up with themselves, keeping up with the Joneses at that point. But I love Halloween too. I love Halloween.
Yeah, and I wasn't a big fan of Halloween. We already talked about this. Like, I think the third one, is the second best.
And I
like the third one too.
The third one's my third best. I like the third one. I don't know. The third one's almost its own movie. It's hard to say I like it better than or worse than the second one, because it's really its own thing. But I like it for different reasons, probably around the same. But no, but even like the way Michael Myers gets killed in Halloween 2 is very Jason, right? They shoot him in the fucking eyes and he's still moving, and you know, it's very Jason.
He never had problems seeing through those eyes in the rest of the series.
No, well, and that's another thing Carpenter brings up is that they quote unquote want to fix with this new one. He says the moment he's like Halloween, he says that the sequels are shit, but like I said, that didn't stop him from getting a paycheck, right? Now, and he
needs to buy new PS3 games to play. And then he comes out every couple of years. He's like, I'm going to make a movie for Fear. Or I'm going to make a movie for Dead Space. You know those stories he says? He just plays those games. He's like, fuck yeah, I'm excited to make a movie again. Never mind.
Is that really what he says? He gets inspired by the games?
Yeah, remember, he was going to make a movie for Dead Space and Fear, the games.
That wasn't that long ago, man. So like I'm saying, he can make another movie if he wants to. He'd rather just take a paycheck, man. He doesn't want to.
I still haven't seen that last one he made, The Ward or whatever.
Oh, I heard it was fucking awful, man. I heard it's bad. I heard it was bad. But anyway, the thing about Halloween 2, what he said was, and I think they want to recapture this with the new one. He says the series went downhill the moment they gave Michael Myers a motive. Because it wasn't revealed until the sequel that, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode was a sister.
Yeah.
He's like, in the original movie, Laurie Strode was just a random girl. He had no motive. He was the boogeyman. You know?
But it was really them just tying up, but like, because if you don't write that, how does it make sense that he took, you know, his sister's tombstone and put it in her house and all that in the first movie? Unless he's just picked her to.
Well, yeah,
like, what does his sister have to do with it?
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess it was supposed to embody fear. It was supposed to embody, I don't know. I like that. He's like, yeah, and that's true. It's like they never confirmed that shit till the second one. And he kind of like that he said that took away all fear from the character, he thought, and made it campy. Opposed to him just being the boogeyman and all that. And I get it. And because you remember he was just the shape, right? The shape. Yeah,
I get it, but I don't really agree that makes it not scary anymore necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, it's funny though, because Halloween 2, John Carpenter has a writing credit. Mm-hmm. Him and Deborah Hill wrote it. Now, I don't know if they're giving him a writing credit because he was based on his, it's based on his first movie, or
I think he wrote the movie.
Yeah, I know he did the soundtrack. He produced it. So I don't know. So maybe he's shooting himself in the foot, saying, "Yeah, it was a mistake." But either way, he was saying it was a mistake to do that. So I think they're straight up going to re-envision and make the movie again. No Laurie Strode, or or at least do away with the whole. They'll probably do different characters.
I finally found out who they're in talks with for the directing of this movie.
Who is it?
Mike Flanagan. He has directed masterpieces such as, Mike
Flanagan. Didn't he do that Oculus movie?
Oculus, yes.
I didn't hate Oculus.
I didn't hate Oculus.
Still Life.
I haven't seen that one.
Before I Wake, Ouija 2.
He did that Hush movie that I just watched. I think he did that one.
Yeah, he did that one. Was that any good?
It was just okay. I thought Oculus was okay though.
I didn't hate Oculus.
I watched it twice.
Yeah, I kind of liked Oculus. It was one of those things where it had everything against it. It was a WWE movie too, for God's sakes. It was produced by WWE.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but it had no WWE actors or anything like that. It was like a normal movie, but it was a WWE production. And so, of course, it has like your pretty boys and everything in it. And I'm like, okay, modern horror. And then I pop it in, and then it says WWE. I'm like, fuck, what am I getting myself into?
You sure like The Undertaker didn't play The Mirror or something?
I don't know. But no, the movie's actually, but the story's cool. It's very old school, like a haunted mirror thing and a haunted house. But no, I think it's pretty good. Like Todd, I mean, it's worth a watch for sure.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. I'd buy it if it were cheap.
I think that's on Netflix too.
Yeah, it's been on Netflix for the longest time. So, whatever. I mean, a director only goes so far to me, though. Did he write Oculus? Is he writing Halloween? It is what it is. Because directors don't have clean slates for me. There's no director that's perfect.
I think he did write Oculus.
So I wonder if he's going to write.
He's in talks to write and direct, it says from this Bloody Disgusting article.
So at least he's got an okay credit under his belt. That's one credit. But like I said, man, a director can be influenced by so many other things. And he's not a big name director, so they're not giving him any fucking creative control, trust me. They obviously don't have any faith in him if they're bringing on John Carpenter as a creative consultant. So, whatever. We'll see how it unfolds. Bottom line, I mean, I expressed my views on it online, and some people kind of were going back with their opinions against mine, and it's whatever. I'll see it because it's not like they're going to do any fucking worse. They've already tarnished the franchise, right? With a million.
I honestly can't say I'm going to see it. I'll wait till it comes on Netflix because I haven't even seen the new Texas Chainsaw 3D movie.
You haven't?
That's how much I fucking care nowadays.
That was a turd.
Was?
Yeah.
Wait, it was Texas Chainsaw 3D, or is it Texas Chainsaw 3D, or is it Texas Chainsaw? Which one had the chick from True Detective?
Yeah, it's 3D.
Oh, yeah, 3D.
Oh, you know what? She was hot in that movie.
Yeah,
she was.
She made it worth watching.
That's the only reason I watched. Didn't she get naked on the skin?
Yeah, she had like a shirt that never was buttoned in the last minutes, but still never showed her boobs.
At the sake of pissing off the PC generation, whoever's listening to this podcast, I'm going to say this for a moment. I'd never seen True Detective, and at the time, I didn't know who this to me, she was just some random horror movie chick, right? I didn't know who she was. And then as soon as I watched it, I remember I called you, Todd, and I told you, I'm like, man.
I told you about her in True Detective, and I was like, it's the best tits you'll ever see in your life.
Okay, but like, okay, so I don't remember. Even if you told me about her before, I didn't know who the fuck that was. I wasn't even putting them together. Whatever. I'd never seen.
Yeah, I recognize her when I watched.
I've never saw this chick a day in my life.
Right away, I was just like, why did she not show her boobs in there if she's showing them here?
Never saw her a day in my life. But she was just like, she struck me. She was like one of those chicks, man, where I'd watch a movie just for her.
She's the only reason I watched that stupid San Andreas movie. And that movie is god fucking awful.
But I called Todd up and I'm like, man, I watched Texas Chainsaw, and this chick, man, she literally had the perfect fucking rack I've ever seen in my life. She was hot. And
you didn't see them.
No, you didn't see them, but they were still, you don't see them, but she's nipping out the whole fucking movie and they're bouncing around. And so it was enough. Like I could tell, like there was something about her. And then, then you told me that's the fucking chick from True Detective. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, I guess those things, even though they're fake, I found out they're fake.
Are they?
They're larger than life, man.
Yeah, they're fake. But still, man, that doctor, man, he must have done something right if they're getting us synced. Like totally different planes. Like, hey man, there's this chick. But you know what? It was whatever. I didn't hate it. The ending was fucking stupid. Remember Zach, how they turned it around?
Like the whole timeline didn't work.
No. And they
like it's supposed to take place in the 90s, but they all have like iPhones and stuff.
And her boyfriend was Trey Songz.
Ugh.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he sings, but he just sounds familiar. Sounds like a rapper.
Yeah, it's Trey Songz. I don't know. I don't listen to music either, but
I think they're all like. I think there's another actress in there that might have been a singer or something.
Oh, I don't know.
Busta Rhymes, he's back.
Well, like I said, the new Halloween, they're not gonna. I'll still see it out of curiosity. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but I'll still see it. And like I said, they're not gonna do any worse than Halloween Resurrection. That'll forever be.
Is that the one with LL or Busta?
That's Busta.
Busta Rhymes.
I mean, Halloween H2O sucks too. That was the WB, Kevin Williamson movie. It's not like rapey to watch. You can watch it, right? It's shitty. It shits all over the original movie, but it's whatever. Resurrection is a low, and they'll never get lower than Resurrection, right? I mean, they literally incorporated.
It was like The Real World, wasn't it?
They incorporated all the trends, of the time. They incorporated reality TV. That was all the rage. Yeah, Big Brother was huge then. All the reality TV was at its peak, and then they made a Halloween movie about it, and they were making a reality TV show, and then you get fucking Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes and the fucking guy from American Pie, and you're just it was the whole thing.
I like American Pie,
and the fact that they were filming this reality TV show in the Myers home, like in the original, they're really taking it back. Everything about it was sacrilege, and the way they killed off Jamie Lee Curtis at the beginning was so stupid. When he stabbed her and she pulled herself off from the knife to give him a kiss and said "See you in hell" and threw herself off the roof. That was
what the hell happened to her, man? She looked so good in
True Lies,
and then ever since then she's just she looks like a witch.
That is the worst. That opening scene is the worst phoned in paycheck fucking performance and scene I've ever seen in my life.
I heard that, like, when they asked her to come back, she said, "Okay, as long as you kill off my character." And
I'm in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, kill off my character so I'm never coming back again. But literally, she was in it for the opening scene. You remember the scene, Zach?
Yeah.
He had her, she stabbed her in the stomach, and it was like...
Where she's in the mental institution.
Yeah, and it was that overacted thing where she, like, grabs him by the face with the knife in her and gives her a kiss. "See you in hell." And then she, like, jumps off the roof.
I always loved that was the way they brought freaking Michael Myers back, that he freaking crushed some guy's throat and put his mask on him.
Yeah.
That's retarded, dude.
It makes no... So, okay, you know what? So if that was the case...
Whenever he was pinned in the tree, why didn't he just take his mask off?
I get it. They tried to cover up the tracks of why he wasn't talking. Why was he fucking... He was acting like Michael Myers. Remember? She's like, "Michael, look at me." And he, like, looks up, kind of dazed, like Michael does.
He actually, like, when he's in the, like, body bag at first and he unzips it and comes out and starts attacking her. It's like you think he would have just taken the mask off. And
he kind of holds out his hand softly. That whole fucking shit. And then why did he grab at her when she chopped her head with the axe? It made no sense. And then, yeah, he should have taken his mask off. It's an abortion. Like I said, they're not going to do any worse, so it's whatever. I've kind of spoken my piece on it. Do you guys have any other final comments about that?
You pretty much summed it up.
Remakes in general or the Halloween movie? Either or. Any other remakes you guys are not looking forward to?
Not really.
You're not. There's no remakes that you're not looking forward to.
There's so many that they talk about that they just jumble together.
What they're doing, and I'm actually glad. My final thought, Jerry Springer style, is I'm glad that Barker dodged a bullet, because what they're doing with Halloween right now is what they were trying to do with Hellraiser about like 3, 4, or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was in developmental hell. At first, they were like, "Hey, we're remaking Hellraiser." And then it was like, "Hey, we're remaking Hellraiser and we're asking Clive Barker to do it." And then Clive Barker wasn't going to do it. And then Clive Barker eventually signed on. And I'm like, okay, cash grab. But his reasons was, look, Dimension owns the fucking rights. They're going to make it no matter what. I might as well do it right. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I feel it. He's like, but it sounds like he had some terms and conditions on doing it, because he said, what I'm going to do is, he was coming out with the Scarlet Gospels at the time, the follow-up novel that came out like last year, right? The Hellbound Heart sequel. And he was coming out with this novel. It was a big, obviously the Hellbound Heart was a short novella. The Scarlet Gospels is a novel. And he was saying this is a story that is going to start and end the story of the Cenobites and Pinhead, et cetera, et cetera. This is like the Bible of it. This is the be all end all. This is the gospel. This is it. Fuck the sequels. This is it. And he says, so I think I'm going to do the movie. And what I'll do is, they want to call it Hellraiser. It sounded like he was bending. They're going to call it Hellraiser. Whatever. I'll bend and let it be called Hellraiser so they can have their fucking reboot moniker. But I'm just going to base it off my book, The Scarlet Gospels, and I'm going to start and end it. And I'm like, all right. I was kind of excited about that. I'm like, you know what? I can get behind this. And then afterwards he backed out of directing and said, but I'm still going to write it. Like, okay. And then it just kind of like slipped off the radar altogether. Then they said they were going to make a TV show. Huh. Then there's going to be a Hellraiser TV show. And
I think they should just leave it alone. I think the best movie is the original.
It is. They should have never. I mean, it's a case with everything else, you know. Clive Barker. It's kind of like Halloween 2, actually. Clive Barker, he obviously adapted his own fucking book into a movie. He wrote the screenplay, did it fantically. I love the original movie. And as a standalone movie, it's a cult classic. I wish it was just alone. And then he wrote and produced the second one, which I don't even like. I think they should have left the first one, even with the second one. They should never made the second one. But as with anything, he didn't own the rights to the movie. It was the production company that put up the fucking dough to make it, right? in exchange for the rights. So they had a hit on their hands, and they were going to keep pumping out sequels no matter what. It's kind of
there's some cool stuff in the second one, but yeah, I agree. There's
some cool stuff in it, but overall, it still hurts the original. I don't care how good it was; it hurts the original. But yeah, no matter who you are, I mean, I doubt Clive Barker really thinks about that. Like, wow, what if this movie becomes great and iconic and they want to make a franchise? No one thinks about that. You know, he just had a story, a really cool. It was no different than a Lord of Illusions. It was its own standalone story, or a Nightbreed, right? And it's out of his hands when they want to fucking tear it apart and make this shitty saga of movies. But yeah, like I said, the second one's okay. I like the third one for what it is. It's like your Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where he's like got one-liners. It's silly. And it's so 90s. I love it because it was in 1991. There's something about 1991 that I love. I like a lot of albums that came out in 1991. I love movies. I like a lot of the TV shows, like Salute Your Shorts and shit. There's something about 1991 that just embodies that. I love that era. So I like it. And then I even like Hellraiser Bloodline for what it is. But still, I wish they never were made.
Bloodline, is that the one with
they go back in time and they go through the lineage, and it starts out.
Oh yeah, I thought that was probably the best sequel.
And it's cool. It's a cool idea, right?
Yeah,
they're fun for what they are, but after that, they're not even like. There's nothing redeeming about them. But I still wish the first one stood alone. But yeah, the Bloodline is where it took place. The narrative was in space, and they were going back in time, like he was telling the story.
Yeah. What is it about the number 4 and things in space, like Critters 4?
Leprechaun 4.
Leprechaun, yeah.
Leprechaun 4. I fucking watched that a year ago, man. I'm like, holy shit. I watched that again. I watched it when I was a kid. And
I watched that too, not that long.
Dude, that is the cheapest. Like, dude, that whole movie looks like a horrible set. It does. Awful. It looks like they made a spaceship in a fucking Walmart stockroom. That's what it fucking looks like. But it's got some funny one-liners in it. But anyway, whatever. We're kind of beating the dead horse here now. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to us, and let us know what you think about the whole remake. I mean, it's a topic that has fueled our podcast for the 6 years we've been doing it. It's probably going to fuel more. But in particular, the Halloween thing. John Carpenter, cash grab or not cash grab? We say cash grab. Reboot, does him being involved make it justified or not? I think not. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're excited for it or not, or if you're kind of on the par with us. Follow us at btmreview.com, obviously. Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere. But yeah, I'm Aaron.
Riverman.
Zach.
And thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Hopefully it's not going to be 4 months.
Ta-ta.
Bye.